and we had thousands of eggs, and they were down 87%.
Yeah, a lot of that, of course, the spike was because of bird flu. But when does it?
See how disingenuous she is? Do you see? The reason why eggs were down was because Biden had to kill all the chickens because of bird flu. But he ordered a mass killing of a lot of chickens. I don't remember the exact number, but a lot of chickens, let me remind you.
Become the Trump economy.
Why do you say that?
Well, tell me,
we had the same bird flu as he had.
When does it become the Trump economy?
There we go.
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy, because he's done a terrible job. He did a terrible job on everything. From his auto pen, which I'm sure he knew nothing about, some of the things he was supposedly signing, to immigration. You look at what happened with immigration, how
Don't
bad
forget
it was.
to subscribe, like, and share, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
11,888 murders, many of them murdered more than one person. Think of that. And they're in our country. Now, we've gotten a lot of them out, and we know who many of them are, and we're on the hunt. But why would anybody do that? Why would anybody, who could do such a thing? Would it allow hundreds of thousands and even millions of people into our country, or criminals and murderers at the highest level? Who would do this?
But, sir, you acknowledge when you announced your tariffs, for example, the stock market dropped. It's been volatile. It has since gone up. Do you take responsibility for that? Do you take responsibility when it dropped?
Ultimately, I take responsibility for everything, but I've only just been here for a little more than 3 months.
See, that's the whole part of it, right? How do you call it Trump's economy when he's only been here for 3 months? Joe Biden built that economy for 4 years. For 4 years, he painstakingly destroyed our country. For 4 years. You understand? Joe Biden, with all his flukies behind him, destroyed our country. But yet she has the audacity to ask Trump, when does it become your economy? Well, technically when he fixes everything that Joe Biden screwed up. That's when it becomes his economy. So let's listen to what Kristen Welker's got to say some more.
Stock market, look at what's happened in the last short period of time. Didn't it have 9 or 10 days in a row, or 11 days where it's gone up? And the tariffs have just started kicking in.
You notice she never mentioned that once about it going up, just that it went down. That's all she mentioned. And hey guys, let me remind you, thank you for watching the video and coming along. Like, if you can, like and subscribe to the channel. Helps us get up there in the algorithm and helps us, take care of the channel. Once we get monetized, we'll be able to look out for the channel ourselves. It'll help us out a little better. We can get better mics and, stuff like that. But, really appreciate y'all.
And we're doing really well. Psychologically, I mean, the fake news was giving me such press on the tariffs. The tariffs are going to make us rich. We're going to be a very rich country.
So let's talk about...
Right, and they don't even realize that their idiocracy actually helped him to succeed. Right? It actually helped his tariffs to do better, because they gave this fear and uncertainty to other countries once he implemented those tariffs, right? But, and here's the but, because he pushed China as hard as he did, the rest of them, it's making them fall right in line. Making them fall right in line. Let's go.
The tariffs. And I want to ask you about something you said this week, got a lot of attention. You were at your cabinet meeting. You said, quote, I'm going to quote what you said, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30.
Yeah.
And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. Are you saying that your tariffs will cause some prices to go up?
No.
She's speaking about dolls and tires. Never mind the fact that the man has made gas come down, oil come down, right? Eggs come down, groceries have come down. When you get energy unlocked and get it to come down, the economy will boom and prices will come down. But it's going to take the president in these next 100 days to unlock it, to unlock all other restrictions that were put in place, right? As well as put all the tax reform into place. Once all that's done, it's a wrap. He's going to prove everybody that's on the left dead ass wrong. And I wonder what Kristen Welker's going to have to say for herself then.
I think the tariffs are going to be great for us because it's going to make us rich.
But you said some dolls are going to cost more. Isn't that an acknowledgement that some prices will go up?
I don't think a beautiful baby girl needs, that's
Watch her
11
face.
years old,
Look
needs
at her
to
face.
have
Look,
30
look.
dolls. I think
Look.
they can have
See
3
that?
dolls
Look.
or 4 dolls. Because what we were doing with China was just unbelievable. We had a trade.
Look, you see her face? She gives that look in her face like, that's right, President Trump. Tell the little girls, tell them that they can't have their dolls. Tell them how evil, the orange man bad is going to come take all the little girls' dolls, the evil Trump man. Oh yeah, you seen the look on her face, right? And if you guys on the live haven't, I got the live going and I'm making a video at the same time. So if you guys on the live didn't get to see it, make sure you watch that Meet the Press with Kristen Welker and President Trump. If you want to see the most dishonest and disingenuous reporter, journalist, teleprompter reader, whatever you want to call her, watch that video. And let's get back to making this video.
A deficit of hundreds of billions of dollars with China.
When you say they could have $3 instead of $30, are you saying
They don't need
Americans
the
could
$30.
see empty store shelves?
No, I'm
What?
not saying that. I'm just saying they don't need to have $30. They can have 3. They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
But
what he's saying is this: we have become gluttonous in our country to where we buy so much that we throw good products away. You've never heard the saying in our country that one man's trash is another man's treasure? We are the most wasteful and gluttonous country in the world. Well, besides China, right? But technically, we are. I mean, we have the hugest consumer base in the world. Think about that. A lot of stuff is where, how many good dolls are thrown out every year because a child grows up and just doesn't want that doll anymore. So now it's just laying around the house in the way, throw it away. Get it out of the way. Damn thing's in the way. I keep tripping over this damn doll. Right? Let's be honest here. She is so disingenuous. She should be fired. I don't know if NBC Meet the Press, FCC should be talking to everyone, and I know they got to be beyond their regulations. Guys, thank you for the second like on the live. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share in the video and the live. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys, and God bless. I really appreciate you. God bless y'all. God bless America, and God bless President Trump.
We're basically saying there could be some supply
And
shortages
basically
because
saying
of
we're
the
going to have to
tariff.
waste money on a trade deficit with China for things we don't need, for junk that we don't need.
Wasteful.
Well, prices are already going up on some popular items. Tires, strollers.
Tires are
This is
so
such a
popular.
dishonest
Strollers
thing to
are
do
so
already.
popular.
Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline. And let me tell you, when you have the big thing, what he did, he spent like a stupid person, which he was, but he spent like a very stupid person. And that was bad for inflation. But what really killed us with inflation was the price of energy. It went up to $3.90, even $4, and in California, $5 and $6, right? Okay.
Let's put a little context with that. You do realize that Joe Biden cut everything off when it came to energy. All the pipelines, everything. And before he left office, he put an executive order into effect to where Trump couldn't come in and do and use certain pipelines. I think he made the land like historical conservation or some stuff like that. It was something like that. But that's how disingenuous she is.
We're down to $1.98 in many states right now. When you go that much lower on energy, which is ahead of my prediction because I really thought I could get it down into the 250s. We have it down at $1.98 in numerous places. Going down. Gasoline is going down. Gasoline is thousands of times more important than a stroller or something.
But what do you say to Americans who say they voted for you because they want and they need relief right now?
And they're getting it.
Right now? What about those
even mortgage rates?
Different items I just
mortgage rates are going down despite the fact that we have a stubborn Fed.
But you said even dolls could cost a couple bucks more.
Maybe they might, but you don't need to have, as I said, 30 tell you that. I can tell you that we're making a lot of money. We're doing great. Again, we're losing more than $5 billion a day. $5 billion a day. You don't talk about that. And right now, we're going to be at a point very soon where we're making money every day. Look,
how soon?
We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars with China. Now we're essentially not doing business with China. Therefore, we're saving hundreds of billions of dollars. Very simple.
You take me to my next question, which is about China. They've been making a number of public statements.
Very positive statements the last 24 hours.
Well, and most recently, they said before talks could happen, the U.S. would need to remove unilateral tariffs. Would you consider dropping the tariffs to get China to the negotiating table?
No. They first of all,
no.
You're giving me a statement that was said a week ago. You're not giving the statement that was said today.
I have May 2nd Chinese Commerce Ministry.
Do you know what they said today?
The U.S. wants to negotiate. It should show sincerity by preparing to take actions in correcting its mistakes and canceling the unilateral tariffs.
They made, first of all, they made numerous statements.
Yes, they've made numerous statements.
You know how many people speak for China? It's like 15
They've made numerous statements.
I can give you a statement for any occasion.
Yes.
But they said today they want to talk. Look, China, and I don't like this, I'm not happy about this, China's getting killed right now. They're getting absolutely destroyed. Their factories are closing, their unemployment is going through the roof. I'm not looking to do that to China. Now, at the same time, I'm not looking to have China make hundreds of billions of dollars and build more ships and more army tanks and more airplanes.
That's right.
So you're not, just to be very clear, you're not dropping the tariffs against China to get them to the negotiating table. Those tariffs are staying on.
Yes.
Would you lower them?
At some point, I'm going to lower them because otherwise you could never do business with them. And they want to do business very much. Look, their economy is really doing badly. Their economy is collapsing.
So small businesses say they are being hurt by the Chinese tariffs, and some could be forced to shut down.
No, they're not.
Businesses are being helped.
Are you considering relief for small businesses?
Why do you always mention that, you pick up a couple of little businesses? What about the car business? They're going to make a fortune because of the tariffs. Do you know that the union, the head of the union, who was no fan of mine, Sean Fain, I guess his name is, right? He didn't endorse me. The Teamsters did. They were...
Now, they're going to run wild with that also. Right? You're talking about the small little businesses and not worried about the car company that's going to bring in billions of dollars. But also thousands of jobs. Right? And if the small businesses just hold out, those businesses are going to bring business to the small businesses. So disingenuous. Disingenuine, sorry.
A lot of people did, a lot of unions did, but he didn't. He couldn't stand me. Now he's saying, wow, what's Trump's done for the automobile? I can't believe it. I assume he's going to probably now say, the next thing he can say is, I endorse this guy. He's the greatest I've ever seen. He can't believe it's happened. He said, we've been waiting 40 years for somebody to do what Trump is doing. So why don't he mention the big car industry instead of mentioning somebody that's doing strollers?
Well, I'm just asking you about small businesses. Are there any discussions about giving any relief to small businesses?
They're not going to need it.
Okay.
They're going to make so much money.
Are these tariffs?
If you build your product here.
That's
Remember,
right.
There are no tariffs if you build your product here. It's very easy. It's very simple.
Are these tariffs permanent?
No
Mr.
tariffs if you build your product here.
What you're talking about.
But
one of the things that is going...
The thing that she likes to do is put that scare tactic into effect. So, Mr. President, are the small businesses going to be hurt by your tariffs? Well, they're small businesses. That means they're in the United States. That means they're not going to be hurt by the tariffs because they don't have any tariffs. And they're going to get the tax cut for employing people. What is she talking about? This is how she turns the American people against our own president. This is a total lack of respect for the office of the presidency. Because not one time did she even throw him a softball question to give him something to shine. She just threw everything at him to try to shit all over him. That's what she tried to do. Excuse my language, Mr. President. But that's what she just tried to do. She was not a genuine journalist at all. What she did was should not be respected whatsoever. Not one bit. But I get it. I get it. Some people got TDS so bad, they look at this as a victory. But people with common sense look at it as a win. An annihilation of the left and the media. That's how we look at it.
To bring and has brought. So I think we probably have close to $9 trillion of investments coming into this country.
If
you look at other presidents, there's never been anything like that.
Oh my God.
You got to give me a little break on the 1 month because we're 3 months. But let's say we had to get started. We had a lot of fake news at the beginning, so we had to beat that down. But so let's say in 2 months. So in just a short period of time, a matter of a couple of months, we have the largest number ever in history invested in the United States and committed. We have between guaranteed spoken for and people that are going to make a decision and announce it pretty soon, close to $9 trillion. We've never had anything close. Now, that's Apple building $500 billion worth of plants. They always built their plants in China. Now they're building their plants over here. That's the biggest computer company, the biggest chip company in the world. The chip company from Taiwan, which is the biggest in the world, is committed for $500 billion. Another one's committed for $300 billion. We have companies, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And let me tell you the other thing, very importantly, automobile companies, plant after plant after plant, Toyota, Honda, Ford, General Motors, Stellantis. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I don't like this, but it happens to be. They're stopping work in Mexico, and they're stopping work in Canada, and they're all moving here.
This is important, though.
I'm going to end that here. We'll do another video with the rest of this. But I want to say thank you for watching, right? And I hope you see I know he likes going on here because he likes to annihilate Kristen Walker, but again, I hope you can see it makes me want to throw up when I watch the left media, because they lie so bad, and it makes me disgusted. Kristen Welker should be fired. NBC should be fined for allowing her to lie the way that she did. MSNBC should probably be taken off the air by the FCC. Because, first and foremost, you should not be able to run propaganda to the American people. Propaganda is to have a smokescreen and lie to the American people. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and like and share. I'll see you next one.
See that?
All right. working on editing the video now. Okay.
Truth. And let's have this little conversation about the full interview with President Trump, right? And good old Kristen Welker here, right? And you know, very disingenuous person, right? Old Kristen Welker here, right? And you know, very disingenuous person, right? I am not a fan of hers at all. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. Let me bring it up like this. Right? Sorry, gotta fix this right now, guys. We're gonna make it right here, though, buddy. All right, here we go.
President Trump, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here to mark your first 100 days.
Pretty cool, bro.
I'm learning. Days. You've signed more than 140
Fuck you
executive
too
orders. You've been focused on the border, the economy, foreign policy.
The best.
What is your biggest goal in the next 100 days?
Proving you wrong.
A lot of results. We've already seen them on the border. We have the best border in the history of our country. It was 99.999. And nobody ever thought that was possible. In fact, Biden, if you remember, said he has to get legislation. In fact, Biden would be
I don't think Biden remembers.
Yes, I was right. We have the best border we've ever had. We're doing great on illegal immigration. We are being hit hard by judges that I think they're trying to take away the power of the presidency. I was elected in a massive landslide and a big vote. We won the swing states. We won the popular vote. We won the district votes by tremendous numbers. We won everything. One of the primary reasons I was elected was to get people out of our country that were allowed. We have prisoners, we have murderers, we have terrorists in our country, we have people from mental institutions that are seriously insane. They all came in through Biden's open border policy, and I was elected to get them out and to seal the border, but to get them out. And we'll have judges, they're activist judges, they're saying, well, you don't have the right to take out murderers and people that you don't even want to talk about. These are really some really bad criminal people, and they're here illegally. So, they talk about your next question will be due process, but they talk about due process, but do you get due process when you're here illegally?
Oh, no.
We're going to talk about all that. We are going to talk about deportation, but I want to start on the economy, sir, which obviously the biggest issue for voters. We got new numbers today, better than expected job numbers.
Much better.
At the same time, the economy shrank in the first quarter.
Sorry about that, guys. Still had the audio. I lost it.
Is this now work?
That's what I wanted to do. Sorry. All right, so I want you to pay attention to Kristen Welker. right? And listen when she's watching President Trump talk and he makes points, right? When she's got the gotcha, she smiles. She makes this little smirk in her face, right? Pay attention. Because she keeps trying to get you with these gotchas. She's like that. I don't understand why President Trump does interviews with this woman, but he likes to do interviews with her. But pay attention to the gotchas. We're coming into one right now.
I think certain aspects of it are. Costs are. I was able to get down the costs, but even that, it takes a while to get them down, but we got them down good. We lost $5 to $6 billion a day with Biden. 5 to 6 billion. And I've got that down to a great number right now in a record time. You know, we're talking about 100 days.
He does.
But just think what that is. $5 billion a day we're losing on trade. And
I want you to think about that. 100 days this man has done more than any president in history. And the media, the mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, all of those, don't subscribe to them on YouTube. But they they like to shape it as the president hasn't done nothing that he said he was going to do. You said you was going to bring down the cost on day one. Like he was going to be able to walk right in the door,
stirring up my food. I'll be right back.
Magically disappear.
Gotta make dinner, you know what I mean?
Where is the common sense? To me, that's childish, right?
Yeah, very childish, bro.
Mommy, you said you was going to give me an ice cream today. Yeah, you said you was going to give me an ice cream today. I want it now. Baby, we haven't went to the grocery store yet. But I want it now. The day's not over yet. And that's what it's like dealing with Kristen Welker. She's a fine reminder of it. Let's continue.
We were very tough with China, as you know. We put 145% tariff on. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing.
I just want to say this is going to get difficult at times. It's going to trigger my blood pressure.
And we've essentially cut off trade relationships by putting that much of a tariff on. And that's okay. We've gone cold turkey. That means that we're not losing. We lost $1 trillion to China. $1 trillion. That means we're not losing $1 trillion when we go cold turkey because we're not doing business with them right now.
That's a lot of money.
And they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal very badly. We'll see how that all turns out. But it's got to be a fair deal. But think of it. We're losing $1 trillion. And that was a big part of the $5 million a day.
And I want to talk about China, but just staying on
$5 million a day.
On the eve of your inauguration, the stock market spiked. You called it the Trump effect.
It spiked because I was elected president. It spiked because of anybody else. It spiked because they see what I'm going to do. They know what I'm going to do with the tariffs and everything else. And I think it's actually working out better than we anticipated. Do you see oil prices? Did you see gasoline is now below, in many cases, in many states, below $2 a gallon, $1.90